Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Hawane Badisa. I'm the Managing Director of Limani Quality Management Consultancy. Limani Consultancy is a 100% citizen-owned and ISO-certified organization by Botswana Bureau of Standards. Limani specializes in project quality management, compliance and performance audits. On the screen, here is a picture which shows our certification by Botswana Bureau of Standards. Limani Consultancy thrives to meet the gap in the project environment of Botswana, where it constantly experiences project delays and failures, project cost overruns. As we all know, Botswana is a mining company. Therefore, the mining companies are required to adhere to international standards by the World Bank governance models. Not only that, the construction industry in Botswana contributes to 25% of the GDP. Therefore, the construction industry also, it is expected to adhere to the relevant international standards. As I had mentioned earlier on, the construction industry, it adheres to the set standards such as the environmental impact assessment. Looking at these pictures here, it shows the gap in the project environment of Botswana. Figure 1 is a defective building which has costed the government 93 million. The reason why this building is inhabitable, it is because the contractors did not adhere to the environmental impact assessment. As a result, there is a structural failure. When we look at the second figure, this is the sanitation project which is draining the national coffers. This is an example of a project cost overrun and cost over failure. This project on its own, it has costed the government 3.63 billion. And then figure 3, it's an interchange road which was officially opened, and in a period of 6 months, due to rain, the building collapsed. All these pictures, they show a gap in the quality management of projects in Botswana. This is the gap that Limani Consultancy seek to fill. Services offered by Limani Consultancy, they include the project quality management, compliance to standard and regulations, and performance audits. The target market for Limani Consultancy is the public sector. According to the Procurement Act, the government has provided preferential schemes for awarding tenders. One of the preferential schemes is awarded to women as they are of the vulnerable group. So companies owned by women will be given priority for tendering. There's an opportunity for Limani Consultancy as it is owned by a woman. And then the mining sector. As I had mentioned earlier on, Botswana is a mining country. Botswana, one of the biggest mines in the world, has a socio-economic initiative for local entrepreneurship called CEEP. This initiative ensures that 40% of its goods and services is allocated to wholly owned Botswana companies. Earlier on, I mentioned that Limani Consultancy is 100% citizen-owned. So this is an opportunity for Limani as it will acquire contracts to offer quality management services. Not only that, but Botswana is one of the biggest companies in the world. Therefore, as Limani acquires contracts in Botswana, this will be a form of branding, as it will be providing services to a large company in Botswana and the rest of the world. The construction and infrastructure sector, contractors, engineers, and developers require project quality management services in order to satisfy regulatory requirements. As I had mentioned earlier on, requirements such as the environmental impact assessment. The market analysis. Ladies and gentlemen, there is an increase in demand for quality management consultancy services in Botswana, both in the public and private sector. The budget, national budget for Botswana, financial year 2025-2026, the government of Botswana is closing the infrastructure gap. Therefore, they have allocated 11.54 billion. That means there are a lot of infrastructure projects which are going to be conducted in the year 2025 and 2026. Therefore, these projects, they require project oversight to avoid delays in projects, cost overruns, and structural failure. Coming to the mining industry, ladies and gentlemen, Khoemacau Copper has an expansion. As I had mentioned earlier on, mining companies, they have to adhere to the set standards, international standards. Therefore, there's an opportunity for Limani Consultancy to offer quality management services. And then during the national budget 2025-2026 planning, the government has allocated 6.42 million to the consultancy service, specifically the project management service. So Limani is going to operate in an environment where there is funding, where there is demand, and not only that, but Limani is going to operate in an environment where the growth is 6.63%. As I mentioned earlier on, Botswana is experiencing a growing demand for quality, focused project delivery across various sectors. In the public sector, the government is prioritizing accountability and timely delivery in response to previous delays, budget overruns, and substandard outcomes, as I had depicted earlier on. Coming to the mining and construction industry, firms are adopting international standards such as the ISO 9001-2015 and ISO 14001 to improve efficiency, safety, and compliance. These trends create an opportunity for Limani Consultancy, which offers services in quality management of projects, ensuring adherence to regulations and mitigating risks. The customer needs. The government, as I mentioned previously, government needs projects to be delivered within budget, time, and scope. The mining industry, they need to adhere to standards and credibility. The construction industry, they need quality assurance, inspection, and audits. Therefore, Limani is ready to offer quality management, compliance, and performance audits across all the outlined sectors. Limani offers project quality management. This service, it guarantees efficiency delivery of projects, adhering to allocated budget, and maintaining high quality standards to minimize penalties, non-compliance errors, and reworks. This includes conducting risk assessment, setting quality objectives and benchmarks. Compliance to standards. Services will be offered through compliance reporting and regular inspections to detect deviations early. These services will mitigate risk while improving credibility with clients and stakeholders. Performance audits. This allows for clients to improve project delivery. Services offered will help identify gaps in performance, review project planning, execution within set objectives, and provide recommendations for improvement. Limani Consultancy is operating in a very competitive environment. One of the rivals is the SIP Consultancy. SIP Consultancy offers engineering project management assessment services. The strength of SIP, it has a proven record in delivering large-scale projects because they have a combination of project management and engineering. Nevertheless, SIP Consultancy is less flexible to small clientele, and also it does not specialize in quality control services. And then the North Atlantic Engineering Consultants, they offer services in project management and contract administration. They are highly experienced in contract administration, and they have less focus on performance, quality control, and risk integration. They don't have any specialized services on quality management. This is therefore a competitive advantage for Limani, as it focuses on quality management of projects, compliance to standards, and performance evaluation. Limani combines quality management with strategic oversights. Limani is adaptable to government and private projects, and also they use modern monitoring tools. Even though Limani is a new entrant competing with highly experienced consultancies, the market opportunities for Limani Consultancy. Limani provides supportive government. Limani has opportunities that are provided by the government that are promoting citizen-owned enterprise through reservation schemes and Economic Inclusion Act. The government has allocated 11.54 billion to infrastructure development. This boosts business opportunities for project management services, opening of new mines which requires project oversight. Also, the Public Procurement Act and Trade Act, professional and consultancies of small to medium size are only available to citizen-owned business in accordance to Botswana reservation schemes. There's pictures of newspapers. For example, this other one, it shows that our former president was calling for policy shift to open opportunities for women. And then the other one is when the second figure is addressing the opportunity that has been allocated by the Botswana. Pricing strategy. Limani has adopted the following pricing strategies: the competitive pricing, cost-based pricing, and the customer value-based pricing. Competitive pricing. Limani is setting a price that is lower than its competitors, that is lower than the SIP and the North Atlantic Engineering Consultancy. This is very important as it will help Limani Consultancy to penetrate market efficiency with an attractive price than the competitors without compromising quality. With cost-based pricing, Limani will offer fair rates, looking at the cost of producing, distributing, and selling these products. This involves consultation fees, time spent on site visit, training and documentation preparation, travel and accommodation expenses, software or tools for quality management system. With the customer value-based price strategy, this form of pricing, Limani's prices will be determined by attainments for clients, such as improved operational performance, management system maturity will be used to decide pricing. This guarantees that customers will view the prices as an investment rather than a cost. The break-even analysis for Limani Consultancy. Limani will reach its break-even point within 10 months with 8 projects annually. Limani Consultancy revenue streams. The services will be charged as follows: The consultancy fee will be charged at an hourly rate, which is going to be 1.5% per hour. The pre-assessment and gap analysis will be 10,000. And then for the retainer fee, that is the quality management advisory services, it will range between 30 to 150K. And then the project-based fee, it will mostly focus on auditing and compliance service, which will be charged at 10K to 25K. And then the service-based fee, which is mostly inspections and site visit, will be charged at 25K to 60K. The marketing strategy for Limani. According to Limani, marketing strategy is the strategy on the marketing mix, namely the price, product, promotion, and places, whereas sales is making the customer to buy the product, as stated by Abhinav 2023. So Limani will be marketed through digital platforms. Limani will provide a website, LinkedIn engagements to reach decision makers, social marketing. Limani will use social media platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to promote its services and engage with customers. Limani will network with other organizations such as Leah Business Botswana, only to mention a few. The key personnel for Limani would include the managing director, who oversees the overall operation for the consultancy, the quality assurance consultant, who will provide guidance on implementation of quality management system, training and compliance, the project manager consultant, who will conduct client assessments. We will also have the marketing and business development officer, who will conduct market research and analysis and identify potential clients, partners, and stakeholders. We will also have support staff who will provide administrative duties such as IT, operations, and logistics. The consultancy will operate with defined and mapped processes to ensure outstanding service delivery. The processes include client onboarding, where we'll define the project scope and objectives, service delivery, which will include the implementation of ISO 9001, audits, training, only to mention a few, the procurement services, which will basically be about application for tenders, technical and financial proposal, and then the quality assurance, which will be to develop standardized methodology for consultancy to ensure consistent service delivery. The financial projections for Limani. Limani in the first year, it will generate a net profit of 100,000. And the second year, it will generate a net profit of 320,000. And then on the third year, it will generate a net profit of 550,000. The break-even point will be achieved and on year one. As I had explained, ladies and gentlemen, according to the projected turnover, the turnover is expected to reach 350 million in year one. And then in year two, it is expected to reach 650,000. And then in year three, it is expected to reach 950. With the net profit, I've already outlined it. Break even. The business is anticipated to reach a break-even point within the first 12 months, following which profitability will continue to increase. The total financing required is 1.29 million, which is going to be allocated as follows: office space lease, equipment purchase, staff salaries, marketing and promotion, capacity building, operational cost, and reserved funding. The office space lease or rather rent office space for a year. And then with the equipment purchase, we will use a long-term loan instead of high purchase. This will include computer software licenses and laboratory testing and total testing tools. And then for the staff salary, the will acquire an overdraft or a venture capital. This salary will be used to pay for qualified consultant, admin, and support staff. Marketing and promotion, it will be done through digital marketing, brochures, and trade show attendances. This will also be financed through the overdraft or venture capital. And then with the capacity building, this will be to train staff on ISO 9001:2015 as a requirement by the boss. For an organization to remain certified, the staff has to be trained on both ISO 9001:2015 standards and consultancy techniques. This will be acquired through factoring or even a loan, a short-term one. And then the operational cost will be covered through an overdraft. This includes utility subscriptions, such as paying for the Wi-Fi, travel, and consumables. And then the reserve fund will be acquired through the venture capital, and it will be reserved for emergencies. 31% will cover the salaries to attract competent consultants in the market. 17% will cover equipment and tools that will enable the operation of services. 12% will cover market position of the consultancy, branding, and client acquisition. And then 12% will cover office rental and office furniture. 7% will cover business emergency fund. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, Limani is a citizen-owned and board-certified consultancy which seeks to close the gap of project performance and compliance to standards and regulations across public and private sectors in Botswana. The market in Botswana shows that the government, mining, and construction industries are looking for quality management consultancies which can address challenges such as project delays, project overruns, and structural failures. The strength of Limani Consultancy lies in its intellectual property from consultants. The author possesses emotional intelligence, which is an important skill in operating consultancy. Also, Limani will be operating in a politically stable nation. Preferential schemes reserved for citizens are in place, which gives Limani a competitive advantage. Limani differentiates itself from SIP and North Atlantic Engineering Consultancy through its BOP certification. Limani has adopted the competitive cost-based pricing. The marketing initiatives will include social media and digital marketing so as to promote credibility, accountability, and to engage and retain clients. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and I look forward to your call as you invest and partner with Limani Quality Management Consultancy. Thank you.